1, 2, 3, 4. What up, y'all? It's your boy, Jermaine Event, episode 15, Babylon 5 podcast. What's up? How you doing? Bumping the mic again. It's your boy, Jermaine Event, coming to you from a whole new view, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy is Churdy. Boy's 30 years old, 30. Yesterday was your boy's birthday. Your boy meaning your host, Jermaine Event. It's my birthday yesterday. Thanks everybody who gave me Facebook wishes and everybody who texted me, reached out. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate you, that's pretty dope. Let me just give you people what you came here for, what you really came here for, the social medias, and plus a brand new handle that maybe I think I may have thrown out there at one point, but I didn't put it in my notes so that I didn't give it to you weekly. So you guys aren't my friends. If you guys want to follow the podcast on Twitter, the handle for that is Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal account on Twitter, that handle is My Name's Jermaine. You can email your boy at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can listen to this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, be a fan. Follow your boy. Follow your boy on Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to the podcast pretty much anywhere. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, on Apple. If you got Apple, give this a rating. Is that what they do? I don't know. I was on an old podcast and I remember them begging people to rate or something, do something on Apple. If you're hearing this on Apple, do that thing. Tell the people what's up. Tell the people it's dope. That extra thing. That extra thing was that if you play 2K, if you're listening to this, you play 2K on Xbox. I got Xbox One. Add your boy. I'm Sauced Boss 414. Sauced Boss 414. That's just like one word. No underscores or anything like that. Add your boy. I don't know. It's getting kind of bored. I'm just like a 99 overall, perfect player. Just add your boy. I play with a few people that are pretty good. Just random people from online. If you play defense, add me. If you don't play defense, I'm blocking you. All right. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday, and just all my life, I've always felt like as I get closer to birthdays, it's like I feel like I'm going to die at some point before. Like something crazy is gonna happen before this birthday happens. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And these days, I don't really go out too much. You know what I'm saying? I don't go out like that often. Well, I mean, not at much at all. And I mean, going out I haven't really, like, the Bucks season just started. For me, going to the Bucks game is considered going out for me at this point in my life, ladies and gentlemen. So just a random thing I want to throw out here. I was reading through the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I didn't finish it. Apologies to Oscar. I mean, in the universe, Oscar. I'm sorry I didn't finish the book. I read through most of it, and then I just forgot about it. And it was cool. It's cool. I didn't think it was as deep as people be saying the shit is. 'Cause it's like, this is another... I don't know if you guys are aware of Outliers, but like, if I can give a shitty synopsis, it's like, it's bullshit. No, it's not bullshit, but it'd be like shit like if you were born at a certain month, like after that cutoff month, Like me, I was born after that cutoff period, so I had to start. And like as I was saying, I turned 21 before most of my friends. So if you were one of those kids and you played sports, you were naturally bigger than most of the kids. Like in most cases, you would typically be bigger because you should have been with the kids from the year prior. So you're much more likely to go to varsity, get picked for like the summer camps teams and whatever. Like the coaches are gonna recruit you because you're just naturally physically more gifted than the other people because you were born in those cutoff months. So you had to start a little later, so you're naturally bigger, but you should have been with the year before. And it's little things like that where it's just like, yeah, he'll show the number how like a lot of people that were born at those times are very successful. But even within there, it's not like if you aren't born within those times that you can't be successful. He even talks about that, where it's just like, okay, this is interesting information. Maybe I should have finished the book. Maybe I should have finished the book. This is a shitty synopsis, and that's where we are with that. Maybe I should have finished the book. I didn't. Where is it? It's right over here, probably right next to this Ray Allen book that I've never opened. I feel like he's judging me. I got this Ray Allen from the outside, and he's just there judging me when I'm making bad decisions here in the stew. Bad decisions in the stew. I got this My Name's Jermaine record. Damn, I don't remember the name of the fellow that gave it to me. The fellow. It was actually Sean Smart's roommate in Madison. He had like 2 roommates. Damn. I don't remember. I don't remember your name, sir. But he saw that My Name's Jermaine record, which is a Jermaine Jackson record, and gave it to me as a gift. I was pretty hype about it. I've had it ever since. I don't know. I'm giving you guys. Just looking at the random things on my desk here. Got a copy of Fahrenheit 451 that I bought from a thrift store. I was just like, I remember in middle school, I hated most of the books we had to read, like The Hobbit and shit like that. But I fucked with Fahrenheit 451. I fucked with this book called Make Lemonade. But like most of that shit was whack. Lord of the Flies, get the fuck out of here. That shit's whack. I'm not, Like, if the book's whack, I still gotta just read through this book. Why this whack ass book? Why this whack ass book? I was hype 7th grade when they let motherfuckers go down to the fucking library, grab a book that you want, and write some shit. Write whatever the fuck you want to read about. Read that book. I read fucking Harry Potter and wrote papers about it. I was telling my wife thinks I'm just a hater. She thinks I'm just a hater. She'll get surprised sometimes when I'll throw like little Harry Potter verbiage at her. But I read those books. And after Goblet of Fire, right away in Goblet of Fire, I was like, this is bullshit. I see through the bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's going to happen here? Harry's going to kill Voldemort. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the bullshit, Harry's going to kill Voldemort. I don't know why. And it bothered me. It bothered me that, like, once I realized Harry was going to just kill Voldemort in the end, and then I realized he wasn't going to fuck Hermione, it really bothered me, you know? It really bothered me. And then I'm sitting here like, am I the only one bothered by this weird-ass Harry Potter, Ron Weasley little sister situation, love story going on here? Isn't she way too young for Harry right now? I guess I was the only one that felt that way. Even, like, I'm reading the book, and I was like, this is weird. Because they were noting, like, right away, he was noting that how young she was, and she just had this little kid crush on him. But then it pretty much developed into a romance, and I was like, am I the only nigga here that thinks this shit's weird? Am I the only nigga that sees this weird? I don't care these niggas is in Hogwarts. Nigga, that shit's weird. I'm reading it from my modern day. It's not, I don't care about back then. My modern day knowledge tells me what I'm reading here is fucking weird. And I thought Harry Potter was weird. So the second I realized that he was going to eventually murder Voldemort, there was nothing we could do about that. Like, that's just like, oh, the start of the book says, basically, you're the only person that can kill this person that's coming back. And it's like, all right, that's exactly how the story is going to end. They start off with, you're the only one that can kill him. He's coming back. He comes back, and then he kills him. Story's over. Did we need 8 books for that? Nah, because you told us in the first book exactly how the movie was going to go down. The least you could have did was throw my nigga Harry some Hermione pussy. That's the least you could have did, my nigga. And when I found out that wasn't going to happen, I was like, man, I don't need to read these anymore. I don't need to read these anymore because at this point, I think we started to get to a point where like movies were coming out, and or they were talking about movies. I don't know if a movie had came out yet at this point when I decided to give up, but I knew that a movie was coming out at least, and I was like, man, I'll start watching the movies, and if anything starts to interest me from the movies, because like when you read a book and then you see it, like hopefully like. And if they do it justice, you know what I'm saying, it'll get you a little more excited. But it went the same way. I was like right away with the first few movies. I was like, all right, yeah, all right. I remember I even had a little Game Boy game. And I had that little Game Boy game. I was back into it. Then right away, right around the same point, right around the same point, I was like, this shit's about to get real whack. And I stopped watching them all, and then I just, like, waited for it to end. Like, because I never read the end of it. I was just like, I don't care. I was like, I guarantee he just kills Voldemort. And then they're like, all right, thanks so much. Let's move on with our lives. That's how I guessed it was going to end the day the Goblet of Fire came out. Like, I got it the day it came out. I was fucking hyped before. And then right with the first chapter, I was like, oh. And so I looked at the last scene, and that little battle scene, the end of that movie. And I'm like, y'all niggas thought that was exciting? These niggas just sending a fucking magical fucking beams at each other like some force. Nah, my power is more stronger than yours. You know what I thought that movie or what that story would ultimately turn into? I thought ultimately niggas would like develop their own styles or some shit, like they would have their own attacks. You know what I'm saying? Like they early on they're learning spells and all kinds of shit. And then you get to the end and it's just like, nah, I can just do this spell and it's stronger than you doing that spell. And I got this wand that's stronger than that wand. And this wand's, I was like, aren't y'all learning spells and you're learning certain things to defend against that, and you're learning certain things to defend against that, the whole story. But at the end, none of that shit mattered. It was just like blast, blast, blast. I'm blasting you with my wand like they're guns. And it didn't matter at all. But I'm the only person that noticed that. They're just blasting people with these fucking wands. And it blew my fucking mind. What the fuck were you learning that whole time? What the fuck were you learning all those years? Why were you in all those? It was always the defense against dark arts teacher fucking everybody over. Why were you in that class? Why didn't you just learn how to shoot your fucking wand like a gun and then go find Voldemort at that point? What were those spells? What were those spells they were learning? Hermione was killing spells. She was a genius with these spells as a young child. And it didn't matter in the end of the day because nobody's using any spells. Their wands are magical beam throwers. But I'm the only one that had a problem with this. Whatever. I guess I didn't just jump into the end. I started to see I think I saw a trailer for that and I was appalled. You people go to Harry Potter World? My wife went to Harry Potter World. And I saw the movie differently. I'm babbling. Where was I? Did I start? No, I didn't start anywhere. I don't know how I got on that babble. How did I get on that? I think I was saying I always thought, oh, outliers, blah, blah, blah. I always thought that so I don't go out too much, because the outliers. And I yeah, so I just said the outliers because of the outliers that I see here are not the birth dates. The outliers are just like things outside of the normal schedule. If you're just a sporadic person, you can you just end up in random situations all the time. Yeah, I try to you know I don't know. I'm low. I try to be low is what I'm saying. Uh, so the other day, I think it was like Monday. Yeah, like Monday. My coworker invited me to go to the Bucks game with him, and I hadn't gone to the game this season or whatever. So I was like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'll go. And go to his house. He lives down the street from here, and I want to say, like, looking back, it was probably most likely my fault that the situation really happened the way it happened because I didn't lock the door to that building behind me, but mind you, I had never been there before, so I didn't think to lock this door behind me to the whole building. I thought maybe it closes and then you need the door you need the key to get inside. I didn't think about it, because I had never been there before. But so as we're leaving to go to the game, there's someone walking in, and my coworker asked him like, "Yo, do you live here?" And he was like, "Yeah, I live over here with Vanessa or some shit like that." And he's just like saying something, and then like I don't know, it was just like whatever. He was saying he lives with the person, he's here with the person upstairs or whatever, and my coworker doesn't know the person that lives upstairs too well, but we're just like we're about to leave, but he's just like, nah, like I've never seen that person before. Like, and we were about to leave, and he's like, so I've never seen that person before. Like, there's no way, like he's here for the person that lives upstairs. Like, he's got to get the fuck out of here. And so we go back. We're walking back, and I'm just like focusing on my breathing. Like I go back to this jujitsu because I'm like, if something happens, I'm gonna just control this dude or something, or maybe like choke him out. I'm not trying to like, I'm not gonna box this crackhead. I'm about to, yeah, he's a crackhead. I'm about to just try to take him to the ground and control him. Hopefully he can chill out. Because we're trying to get to this basketball game. My nigga just leave. So we go back. This nigga's smoking a cigarette in the stairway of these apartments. And my coworker's like, yo, you gotta get the fuck out of here, man. You don't live here. And he's just like kind of like making noises, grunting at him. And my coworker just like grabs the dude and like pulls him out. And then I don't know if I did or we both just like pushed him, and he kind of like flew down the staircase. Like I don't know. I think we both pushed. Like I know I got a hand in there at least. I don't want to say that I did it because I feel like we both did it, but I know that I was part of it. But okay, so he went down the stairs, landed on his feet, and then he turned back at us and like put his cigarette back in his mouth. He's just like staring at us. And at this point, I'm thinking like, yo, if he takes a step at us, I got to take him to the ground. I got to take this crackhead to the ground and control him. I don't necessarily want to put him in a chokehold or anything. I just want to control him because, like, I don't know. I can tell this man has no jujitsu. He has no jujitsu. And I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to risk, like, anything crazy happening. So I was thinking I just want to, like, get him to the, like, just get a hold of him, control him, get him to the ground, and just get this crackhead to chill out, bro. Just chill out, bro. And, thankfully, my coworker was, like, just, like, yelled at the dude, like, yo, get the fuck out of here right now or I'm calling the cops. The dude, like, mumbled something, and then he just turned and walked away. And I was like, all right, cool. We ain't had to get in no real situation with this man, but, like, shit was about to get real, man. And that's an outlier. And those are the kind of situations I try to avoid just man, you don't know. You don't know what that man might have had on him. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what could have happened in that situation. Anything. You don't know that man. Man could have had a crack pipe, crack smoke. You know what I'm saying? They do the things. But yeah, I was thinking, man, I was like, I could easily, because the way he was when we got him off the staircase and then off the porch, he's pretty frail. And I'm like, yo, I could easily control this dude. He ain't got no jujitsu. So I wasn't really worried. I'm focusing on my breathing the whole time. I'm just like breathing. And that was like the first time like I wasn't acting like a white belt. I was like, let me just chill out. Let me just be ready for the moments. You know, I was just trying to watch and see if this man was like going in his pocket with anything. But I love that he kept his cigarette the whole time. That was pretty hype. Shout out to that crackhead. I remember we was leaving, and I was like, man, this man ain't had no jujitsu. And he was sitting on the stairs at another house, and he looked up at me, and I was like, yeah, this man ain't got no jujitsu. And then he put his head down, and I mean, niggas don't know what that mean. I mean, I'm not saying like black people don't know what that mean. I'm saying you, my nigga, you yourself. Unless you do jujitsu, you don't understand what I'm saying. I control him in a second. I wasn't worried, my nigga. I wasn't worried. That was just real random. That's how my week started. Fucking with this crackhead on Monday. And I remember we was at the game. We was at the game on Monday, and I was saying, I don't know, like I love Chris Middleton, but I don't know if we really have a number two. I'm not sure. Who's our number two? Do you really, like, at this point right now, I think probably because he's still maybe recovering. He's coming off the bench. Chris Middleton is. I don't know if we have a real number two on our team. Giannis has improved, like, a lot. And I was saying we signed Dragan Bender. We signed Thanasis. We signed a lot of people while Carmelo Anthony was sitting there in free agency. And I'm saying, like, for the contract he got to go to Portland, we could at least brought him in, brought him through camp. We could have done some things with Carmelo. We could have sent him to the affiliate team and just work him out. After, I guarantee, if you look at the way he's playing right now, after like a game or two with the affiliate, they would have brought him up. Could have had him come off the bench, and he would have been the guy he is right now. And I think he would have developed into that perfect number two that we need right now. You could have him as the perfect number two in the 3 spot, and then still have Chris Middleton coming off the bench. I think we'd be like unstoppable at that point. I went on the Melo rant last week, but man, right now he's averaging like 22 and 8, 22 points, 8 rebounds. He could have been our number 2 guy. He's better than he was before, I think. I don't think he had that rebound game back in the day. He's been working on his game. And we could have had him as our number 2 for fucking pennies. He just wanted to play basketball. All you niggas need to apologize. I remember there was this one thread on Facebook, and this random person was like going in on me because I was like, I talked about like I don't understand why we signed Dragan Bender when Carmelo Anthony is still a free agent. And this random person was saying how like Carmelo Anthony is a known bad teammate, locker room like cancer, blah blah blah, like saying all this nonsense. And I'm like, you've seen articles that have said that, but if you actually look up players that have played with Carmelo, no, all of them speak against it. All of them say the opposite. They say he's the best teammate. Like, all the coaches say they love him. Like, he's got, like, the news reports that he's had all these bad relationships with coaches, but since then, all the coaches and everybody else has come out and said the opposite. They've said the opposite. And I wanted to go back to that thread and be like, look at this. Look at him ball in Portland. Everybody was against my boy Melo, and he's balling right now for pennies. He just wanted to play basketball. He could still play basketball. I was like, I guarantee he's better than like half the NBA. Coming back 22-8. We see you, Melo. We see you, Melo. I don't think that's what he's averaging, actually. I think that's just over the last 3 games, which is amazing. If that's what I think it's over the last 3 games. But he's coming back to form, is what I'm saying. And he's adding new elements to his game. He used to be just a scorer. Now he's rebounding, ladies and gentlemen. The wife and I, we were watching this documentary about Bikram Yoga. Yeah, you should check that out. I guess pretty much like most, if not all, like the hot yoga studios with like heated floors are Bikram Yoga studios, or at least they were. I think there's still a Bikram Yoga studio here in Milwaukee, but there was one over on Humboldt, but they changed the name. Most of them have changed the name because of this documentary. The dude who set that stuff up, he's a creepy-ass nigga. First off, I just want to say that he stole like pretty much every technique. He had this master in India who like taught him all this shit. You know, he had this crazy weightlifting accident. He was a power lifter, and he was an Olympic power lifter, and he like something like he dropped a bar on his leg and it like shattered his leg, and then for his recovery, he did some yoga because they told him he'd never walk again, and he did yoga with this yoga master in India, and taught him all these things, and he had these booklets that he only gave out to his students, like, and the dude Bikram took all these teachings, brought it like to America, and I think the master, no, I don't know if the master was dead yet at the time or whatever, but he came to America and opened up yoga studios, put in the heated floors, and like did these things with the people and with all these techniques. And he called it his own techniques and called himself like a messiah of it all and shit. Became like a millionaire off of it. Became a millionaire. Super weird techniques. Not only did he become a millionaire, but he just was super rapey. And it was like known that he was like a rapey dude. Like he was a rapist. And he set up, what he did, right? He has his yoga studio, and then he'll pick people out of the yoga studio to train and do the teaching classes, to train and teach classes. But all right, so you commit to that, and it's like, I forget how long. It's like maybe like 6 months or some shit. Don't quote me on that. But you have to stay in this hotel, and for whatever reason, he lives in the hotel too because he's rapey, and yeah, you go through this whole program, and you cannot open a theater without Bikram's blessing. Without his permission, you can't open a Bikram yoga studio or like any of his like the kind of studios that he has, because it's like he has all that shit copywritten, his techniques and all the whatnot. So he has last say. So pretty much that's what kept everybody quiet was. You would go through these training programs. He would come at them with these rapey vibes. With you know, some people it was just like asking, but some people it was like terrible situations, and it was like some forcible rapes in there, and yeah, he's just a terrible person, and everyone just had to shut up about it for the most part, or they weren't allowed to open up a studio. They weren't allowed to open up their own studio and have a career after going through all the training and whatnot, pretty much giving their life to this man. It's pretty terrible. But But he went along able to do that. He's still able to do it now. See, what happened was, spoiler alert, he eventually fired like someone who worked for him and got sued for wrongful termination or some shit like that. He lost the case for, it was a civil suit. He lost the case for about $7 million he owed this woman, and he fled the country. He had a bunch of women had came forward with the rape accusations and all the sexual assaults, and he claimed that he would never have to rape a woman because there's so many women that would pay $1 million for just a drop of his sperm, and that if he were to have sex with all the women who want to have sex with him, he would have to have sex with about 5,000 women a day. And also, he says the women who are accusing him are garbage, and that he picked them up from the garbage and tried to make something of them, and now they're trying to get rich off of him. And he's just trash. He's just a trash human being. And he fled the country, and because, I don't know, the court systems did not file criminal charges because they felt like it would be too hard to win a sexual assault case against him, given the circumstances of them working together and going there willingly, and apparently everybody knew about it, yada, yada, yada. They said they likely couldn't convict him. So he's just freely operating. They said he had a camp or whatever. He set up a studio in Spain in 2018. They had footage of that. And then in 2019, this year, he's working in Mexico, had his studio in Mexico. So he's still operating. People are, even with all this information out there, lots of women are there signed up, working in these classes, training to be yoga instructors in these same situations, same thing it's always been, and it's pretty terrifying. Pretty terrifying to see. Yeah, it should never be that way. I want to talk about the show Watchmen. If you guys haven't seen the show Watchmen, there's gonna be some spoiler alerts here. I'm gonna give you a shitty synopsis of the show Watchmen on HBO. Shitty synopsis. So spoiler alert. I just want to give you guys if you want a little shitty synopsis, and just in case you want to be interested in it. Yeah. Because I think everybody should watch the show. It's pretty dope. It starts out with a reenactment of the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings, genocide, or whatever you say it was. It's like the Klan. There was a thriving black community growing it was just growing, it was thriving. They were on the come up. And the Klan, the KKK, came in, lots of people with fucking planes, bombed the area. Came in shooting just black people. It was genocide. They just came in and killed everybody, took everything. It's a real event. It was a reenactment of that is how this show starts out. But with the fiction of it there's a character there named, there's a little kid who survives. He was about to escape with on a wagon. He was hidden in a wagon with these people that were leaving, trying to escape. And then one of the bombs came and blew up the wagon. And then he just wakes up hours later, under some rubble, randomly survive. And a baby. I don't know who that baby was. I don't think that was ever touched on again. Maybe it'll be touched on tonight. But yeah, there was a baby he had with him. And so then the show goes to whatever current time it is, and the main character played by Regina King is Angela Abar, who's a cop. Or she's not a cop, okay? Because apparently in this show, maybe, I don't know if it was years before this time or at some point before the current time of the show, this new kind of KKK, did this thing where they found they just got the address of every police officer in the area, and they went to their house and attacked them. And only a few survived, and she's one of them. But the few that did survive, they now wear masks to cover their identity, and they're secretly police officers. Like Angela Abar's character, her cover is that she runs a bakery. All these other people do other jobs throughout the day to cover up the fact that they're secretly masked police officers at night, or whenever the job calls for them to be masked police officers. They're like detectives and whatnot, but all the police officers on the force have to hide their identity because of this crazy vigilante group. It's like a brand new KKK, and so that's pretty fascinating. That aspect's pretty fascinating. You got Mr. Manhattan lives on Mars. They keep bringing up this guy, and I wanted to preface my Watchmen babble with the fact that I'm unfamiliar with most of the lore behind the Watchmen. I didn't read the comics at any point in life, and I didn't see that movie that came out years ago, so I don't know. This is my first introduction to the Watchmen, and I'm pretty interested in what I'm seeing. And they keep talking about this guy, Mr. Manhattan, and I've Googled Mr. Manhattan, and he's just like some blue alien-looking motherfucker. But they keep talking about him, and I'm not really sure what aspect he plays. I'm not sure. There was one point, I think in episode 1, where they like briefly show him on Mars, like creating like structures and then like making them disappear with like the snap of the fingers and like flying around. They briefly show that like in a small part of the screen. And I just like, cause I rewatched it and I like caught that the second time. They show him on Mars creating things. And I'm not sure what role he plays. It's a wild show. There's this character, spoiler alert, old man, William Abar. It's discovered by the end of the first episode that this old man that Angela Abar comes into contact with in the first episode. No, it's discovered by the end of the second episode that the old man is Angela Abar's grandfather that she never met. And throughout the show, there were scenes of this masked vigilante it was just a masked vigilante, and it's just some TV show that they would show the people in this show watching from time to time, called Hooded Justice. And I kind of, honestly, when I saw these, at first I thought they were kind of disturbing because, I don't know, well, the hooded character, he has his hood on, but he's a white guy, and he has a noose around his neck. You know, so I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this guy is the hero, and he comes in and he's like defending people. He's like some people are trying to stick up a liquor store or something, and he comes in and beats up the bad guys. But he beats up the bad guys where it's like super gory, and he's just like smashing this dude's face against the counter, and it's just like so bloody, and I'm just like what am I watching here? Why does it have to be this gory? But it's just like super violent, and there was just crazy scenes. And spoiler alert, with the last episode, there's these pills called nostalgia in this show. The lore of it is that the nostalgia pills, they do something where they can extract your memories, and it's for people with dementia mainly, and it can just like help with, it's medicine for people with dementia. It'll give you your memories back. And she somehow swallows her uncle's nostalgia pills. I mean, her grandfather's nostalgia pills, and pretty much lives through his entire life, and finds out that her grandfather is actually the real Hooded Justice. But everybody just assumed that he was a white guy for whatever reason. Well, he wore paint over his eyes, the part of his skin that you could see, to make it seem that he was, to cover his race. But and it turned out that he wore the original character wore the noose because the police officers, well, while he was a police officer, the other white police officers beat him and like were about to hang him. Well, they hung him up from a tree, but cut him down and told him to stay out of their business or they said to stay out of the white men's business, or we won't cut you down next time. And then as he was like walking back home from this beating with the ropes, with the noose still around his neck, his hands are still tied or whatever, or no, he got his hands free, and because they cut him free, and some people are trying to like, they're beating up this man and they're about to rape his wife, and he takes the hood that they put over his head when they're about to hang him, cuts 2 holes in, puts it over his head, and runs in and beats up these 2 guys and saves these 2 people. So that was the start of it. And then like there was the news reports of that masked man and how he was dressed coming and saving everybody. And that's what grew into the lore of Hooded Justice. And then he eventually became that Hooded Justice. It's a pretty fucking amazing show. I don't even want to get into it anymore. I just think you guys should watch it. There's a lot of things. There's a lot more characters I can't even go into. I don't know their names. It took me years to learn a lot of my favorite Game of Thrones characters' names. I would say like Tyrion's dad a lot for years before I could know Tywin's name. And I think Tywin, looking back, is the best character on the show. My favorite character is probably Oberyn. But yeah, it took me years to learn niggas' names in that show. But y'all should definitely check that out. New episode tonight. I think it's only going to be like, 9 episodes for the season. But it's pretty fucking dope. Don't miss out on this show. Yeah. But I'm going to leave y'all with, we're going to talk about my birthday shenanigans. What did I do on my birthday? So I went to yoga for the first time. I went to a yoga class with my wife. We went to yoga at Sherman Phoenix, which was a pretty cool class, pretty chill. Wasn't like super intense, but I got like a bad knee. I don't know if you guys heard that in my Sean Smart interview. My bad knee. You know, he was doing some things that I was pretty worried about, but the yoga instructor, she came by at the perfect time. I guess she saw that I was struggling on that side and like put the block like by my hip, and it gave me enough leverage where I didn't feel like my knee was going to pop out of circulation. But like after I left, my knee felt great, you know, which is why I was like, I'm just going to try to push through it all. Like after watching that Bikram Yoga thing, I was like, there's definitely some value in this. There's definitely some value in this, so I just got to like push through it. So we did that. That was pretty dope. Kicked it. So we already planned to get dinner at this steakhouse called Ward's down the street, and so we were gonna go to Ward's, and I was planning to eat the 40-ounce steak, and it's like you eat 40-ounce prime rib or some shit like that, and yeah, you get it free, but like they put your name on the wall, and they do like a caricature of you, and damn, I've never tried to say that word before, and I'm so sorry that that's how it happened. So, yeah. And so all week I had been preparing by stretching my stomach with water, eating larger meals at a certain point throughout the day. I'd studied it and looked how to like do this. But for the day of this day, my birthday yesterday, like I think I started like about an hour too early, because by like maybe like an hour and a half before we went to Ward's, I started to feel pretty hungry and getting pretty irritable. And by the time we left, I was just like a zombie. And just like, I remember we looking at the menu. Like I had looked at the menu before we got there, I think, and I knew what I wanted. But like by the time we were there, I'm looking at the menu and like, I just couldn't really make sense of it. I was a zombie there. I was just a zombie at first. And then they finally brought bread over, and like I had like a piece of bread, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm alive, ladies and gentlemen. I'm alive. I started laughing. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I couldn't even focus on anything a second ago. I couldn't speak. I was so goddamn hungry, and I was trying to do the steak thing. I had planned, when I started to feel that hungry and irritable, like an hour and a half before, I was like, I told my wife, I'm not even gonna attempt this tonight. I started to feel it. I was like, I'm not doing this tonight. And so only because if I had timed it out right, I'm pretty sure. Because we maxed all the food. Like, I went in on that food. Like, and looking at how much food I ate once I got there, once I did actually eat, I'm like, damn, I could have ate that 40 ounces. Could have ate that 40 ounces. I think so. But maybe next time. Who knows? Should be. I'll start training at either gym. Pretty sure I'm going to go to Reds, but I'll start my training again once this health insurance kicks in January. I can start training again. Really looking forward to training again and just, becoming a better Jermaine. Better Jermaine than I've been. Trying to fight a nigga too. Or two. Yeah, so we ate the food. I had the doesn't matter what I had. I had food, Max. It was good. Shout out to Wards. Some good food. Went to the Bucks game. Pretty dope seats. Shout out to the wife. Got some pretty dope seats, lower level. We were like eye level with like Giannis and them. It's like where we were sitting, like pretty dope seats. Yeah. And I don't know. I say that's what we did. Came back here. My mother-in-law made me a lemon meringue pie. I'm a pie guy, not a cake guy. I'm a pie guy. And that shit's fire. Had some of that. Yeah. And then I passed out after, passed out watching some South Park like I should. My old man, 30. Your boy's 30. I'm up there. Getting up there. And I don't know. I feel like I might be leaving something out. No, I don't know. I walked up into Sherman Phoenix in my pink tights, my Spanx, my rash guard, my pink rash guard and Spanx. It usually goes over well in my jiu-jitsu practice. The niggas over at Sherman Park did not like it too much. But fuck that nigga. I don't care. I be doing me. I be doing me, nigga. I'm fresh in my pink. Yeah. But yoga, I think I would do it again. So when I did yoga, I felt like by the end of the hour, I felt like I was ready to work out at that point. You know what I'm saying? I was really ready to work out. I think my wife said that they do jiu-jitsu classes there. I would love to do yoga and then if it timed out perfectly, do an hour of yoga and then go straight into some jiu-jitsu. I'd be nice and warm, nice and loose, ready to choke some niggas out, some triangle chokes, do all kinds of shit, put niggas in a rubber guard. Yeah, just hype about that. But I think I'm going to get up out of here. You guys have rocked with me long enough. Thank you so much if you said happy birthday. I love you all for rocking with me. This is episode 15 weeks to this. I was pretty shocked. I was just looking at it. I was like, damn, I've been doing this for him a little bit. Nah, all right. We getting up there. Almost too old for R. Kelly. That's the name of the episode. If you guys want to follow the podcast, you can follow it at Babylon 5 Pod on Twitter. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Babylon 5 Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email your boy at Babylon5 at Babylon. Sorry. You can email me at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow and subscribe to the podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to the podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere podcast play. Yeah. And if you play 2K and you're on Xbox One, add your boy, Sauce Boss 414. Also, I think I'm about to get maybe not right now, but maybe at some point. I'm looking at, they just dropped a new Civilization. Looks pretty cool. I'm a nerd when it comes to video games like that. When I play 2K for the most part, this is the first time I've actually really played the game. Usually I just simulate franchises and try to build a successful team. Try to manage a team successfully through 80 years. I never make it to 80. I get pretty bored by that time, but before that, but yeah. Anywho, thank you so much for rocking with me. Episode 15, Almost Too Old for R. Kelly. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is your boy Jermaine Event, and I will see you all next week. Peace.